Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome to another episode, and today we are going to discuss about how to use ChatGPT as a project manager. This tutorial is applicable for any job role that is focused on office-based work. Probably you are a project manager for a construction company or a web development company, or you are a marketing manager. Any kind of project management where you need to orchestrate your team, adding value by doing leadership and preparing the proposal, sending email, responding to your customers. So many tasks involved in a project management task, and here how ChatGPT can help you with this. ChatGPT is a famous LLM model invented by OpenAI, and it is a great application of artificial intelligence where you can ask any question and you get answer, very precise answer, very research oriented answer. Sometimes these are based on the practical information from the internet and various other authentic sources, and that simplify your tasks. So in this tutorial we are going to explore this and we will learn some basic. Of course you already use ChatGPT, but this tutorial will brush up and also add some new ideas to use this wonderful application in your day-to-day activities. So from my practical experience, I found that as a project manager, most of the times where it's utilized for reading some large document that is coming from the client as a requirement and focusing on each and every point here so that you don't miss any important details relevant to this project. Sometimes you need to prepare a proposal. Here you want to bullet point the major point that you want to cover as a scope of work, and you want to eliminate some of the important point that may be a point of some scope creep requirement. So in that case ChatGPT is going to help you, like it will analyze the document, it will give you summary very quickly, and that helps the project manager in terms of productivity. So you can utilize that additional hours that you save by using AI for leadership and for building new strategy. It is not like totally depending on AI, but it is like accelerating your own skill set with by eliminating some sort of repetitive tasks. So sometimes it is a rumor that people think AI is going to replace project manager. It is not perfectly true, because in a day-to-day activities as a project manager, generally you do very limited number of tasks. And if I say what are the top 10 tasks that generally a project manager do, these are very specific, and in all these points AI can play a very important role. Number one is writing. Preparing an answer of an email, you already know what is the point you want to share, but it takes a little bit more time to organize the concept, all the point together. Here AI can speed up these process. Just draft the major point that you want to include in this reply and say this is the email that I received from the client, and these are the point I want to reply, and if I miss any other point then just include them in this email. Generally when I write prompt, my prompt are more details, so these are like a conversation. So when you utilize this kind of conversation, your answer or your output from the AI is better. Then every time it is not necessary to expand the content, because AI there is a famous saying that AI can change one line into like 100 lines, and it can also summarize 100 lines into one line. So in case of taking note during the meeting, generally Google Meet has an option to transcribe the record, and if you get the transcript of your meeting and share this with AI like ChatGPT as a text file and say give me a minutes of this meeting, AI can generate the meeting very quickly as a bullet point. So that is one thing. Another point is like preparing any presentation. Now your minute of the meetings are listed. Now it is time to prepare some slides, so you can do this with ChatGPT. Like these are the bullet points, give me 5 slides based on this bullet point. It will create the slide in HTML format. Generally it is easy to open in a browser. You can send the same content to Gemini Canva, and it can also produce the slides. So slide presentation is very easy. In terms of brainstorming, like if you want to focus on launching some new product, you have a set of competitors, you want to look at their feature, and then based on that features you want to do a brainstorming with your team. In that case, a ChatGPT can create a brainstorming bullet points, the points that you want to discuss with team. And another thing is like organizing the workflow. Basically every office has their own workflow. Here if AI is introduced as a part of this workflow, like checking every detail before sending to the client, or like looking at the various technical details. Sometimes you need to make a bridge between the technical world and the business world as a project manager. So in that case, translating the technical points into business language is very important, because business language is sometimes very simplified. When you are dealing with a web design project, let's take an example. Here the business owner don't want to know how many pages are, say, not SEO friendly, that those pages has some problem, too much detail about every content, because you want to give a overview of the project to the business owner, so that he can quickly make a decision whether he wants to expand his website, or whether he want to change the feature of this website or not, and if he changing a feature, what is the benefit, business benefit behind that. So it is easy to make the summary, so the decision maker can make a quick decision. So here let me share more details how a ChatGPT can make your life easy. First of all, you are giving some administrative tasks to ChatGPT, like the communication kind of things, and you are focusing more on the strategy kind of thing. So for example, it can write a long email in a very quick time, or sometimes long emails are not. So you might face a situation where you will need to follow up the development team, and your stakeholder is asking what is the update. So in that case, if you need to write a status update very quickly, you can just share this information that I am looking for a status update from the development team, and sometimes it can memorize the context. Like if you start a chat, and this chat is about a project, and then again after like 10 days you reopen this chat and write a status update email based on this last communication, it will just behave like your tone, like a project manager. So the vendor communication is very fast with the help of AI. When it is necessary to do some internal coordination kind of email, like you want to send a regular email to your teammate about some routine tasks, then in that case you can also set up an email which will notify you that these are the things you need to do. So kind of you can utilize it as a reminder. There is option how to use ChatGPT as a reminder. You can do this. So that is one point. So in any project management office, generally there is a hierarchy, like that you have a, as a junior project manager, you have a reporting manager, and when reporting manager arrange a meeting, he wants to motivate the team about the future plan. Sometimes the senior project manager has some important point that he needs to discuss with the team. In that case, the team member can take a short note, like few words what he has discussed, and those short note that you use pen and pencil, just type those short note in to ChatGPT and say give some context about this, like the senior project manager discuss on the following points, make a professional meeting minutes and action item based on this. So you will see that AI has a different dimension of looking at the problem, and it will prepare a more detailed outlook of based on this meeting. So that is something very helpful. Here you can indicate what are the pending point, what are the deadlines, etc. So it is more like focus on your work. And one of the biggest problem is the work breakdown structure. When you are delivering a big project, whether you are using some traditional method or sprint or milestone based work, in that case the AI can do the work breakdown just like a senior project manager. So here sometimes these timing are unrealistic. I can say that because I use and I see some times or time frame that the ChatGPT allocate for different tasks. These are not so professional because some tasks are deliverable quickly with the help of AI right now, and some tasks take more time. So timing, you need to look at these information before sharing it with your team, because everybody knows that AI can do this kind of thing. So what is the differentiator? Like you as a project manager looking at AI response, updating it based on your practical knowledge, that is my recommendation. So now here is an example of a task, like create a 12 weeks project plan for launching an e-commerce website with design, development and testing. Generally 12 weeks is a short time if it is a very professional website, and it is really a long time if you want to launch very quickly a basic e-commerce website. You can develop it in like few days, not 12 weeks. For a 12 weeks development plan, it will be more detail oriented, and I don't think people have enough time to invest in a project, e-commerce project that is taking like 12 weeks, right? So if you are an agile project manager, moves to our next slide. So there are different way of like Scrum project managers. I have a different video on this, like what is Scrum project management, what is like sprint. And So in that case, of course, you also need the basic concept of project management. Otherwise, ChatGPT is talking like a serious project manager who has like PMP certificate, and you have say, let's assume you are a student, you have no idea about the project management skill set and other vocabularies. So sometimes this response will sound like not relevant to your exact work. So in that case, it is also necessary to use the concept before utilizing these kind of response or asking some prompt. For example, write a 5 user stories for a food delivery mobile app login module. So here the AI will write like a UI designer who has experience of designing food delivery app. If it is not relevant to you, then you can ask some similar kind of prompt which is relevant to your industry, and you can see the response. So before utilizing this kind of AI in your day-to-day activities, it is necessary to do some practice with your personal account first. Obviously, ChatGPT can improve the communication, and especially when, for example, if you are like dealing with technical to business. So say your technical team has explained how they are going to integrate some feature in the existing app using API integration. Now the business owner is not aware of how API works. So in that case, you can simplify the whole process about by asking what is API integration issue. For example, here I am going to say ChatGPT is just a example, but you can also use some local LLM model and ask that explain this, what is API integration issue. So API integration issue means you are, in layman terms, you are depending on another application, and that application is helpful for providing some data to your application, and your application use that data to solve customer problem, something like this. So here is the explanation that we got from ChatGPT. ChatGPT helps streamline technical to business communication by providing a simple and clear translation of API integration issues, and this improve clarity and reduce misunderstanding and takes easier, and it makes it easier for the non-technical stakeholder to understand the complex technical requirement. And with this, you can save your time basically. And sometimes some more technical project manager forget that they are dealing with a business team who are actually not interested in the technical detail. They are more interested in the business outcome of implementing this API basically. So here is the point: you can write your reports very fast. You can reduce time in administrative tasks like preparing reports, sending email, typing the email, etc. So for example, you can also set some weekly project status report based on some progress. Like you have observed that there is 70% features are already implemented in the application, and say you have a deliverable list, then beside all these list items you just make some comments that these are the status. And now this is obviously not a very clean and presentable report. Just upload this to ChatGPT and say make it more cleaner and simple report so that I can share with the stakeholder about the progress of the project. In that case, you will see that in a few seconds it can format this report. It can prepare a pretty professional layout for you. So next thing is the faster documentation creation. Documentation like SOP, like scope of work. This is very famous document in any project management. Either you are delivering a construction site business, delivering a complete home to a homeowner, or you are delivering a website to a business owner, or you are delivering some marketing project, whatever project. So in that case, the most important thing is the scope of work. So scope of work, for this you can write this prompt like create a standard operating procedure and handling for website bug report. So it will prepare what kind of activities you will do in future to make the website technically correct and bugs free. So it will include all the points that are necessary. Sometimes a human project manager forget to include some of the major issues, like testing the website on major devices like desktop, mobile, etc. So these points, these are the standard points. These will be included by ChatGPT and it will make the project process faster. Then better time management. Obviously project you can type a prompt like this. Basically using ChatGPT means writing good prompt for a user. As if you are not a developer and you are not using ChatGPT API for various type of integration, advanced level integration, then prompting is sufficient for you. Like write prompt like, help me prioritize these 15 project tasks based on the urgency and the business impact. Now when you are giving a list and also giving a little bit more information, like these project tasks are prepared for developing an e-commerce website, say, and you are sharing the scope of work as well. Upload 2 files and see what are the result it is giving. You will be amazed by the results, because your knowledge will be reflected on the response of your ChatGPT, and you will identify, okay, these are the things I forget, these are the thing really innovative. So this, and sometimes you don't need to trust 100% to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT sometimes got hallucinated. If it has not enough information about your project or task, then it made up some information based on its idea. And those ideas are coming from some fantasy world, you can say. These are not realistic sometimes. So create a daily schedule. You can do these things, no problem. Next, presentation. Presentation is a very significant part for any marketing activities or helping other, like knowledge transfer kind of thing. So slides, regarding slides, your the prompt should be like, create a 10 slides presentation outlining the project review meeting. Okay, so here when you are sharing the context, how the project was started, what was the deliverable item, and whether these are delivered or not, all those information are shared with the ChatGPT. More information, more context means it can prepare the slide in a better way. And it is also necessary to keep the slide limited, because people don't have enough time to give attention on a big slide that has a lot of text. So very precise, very limited number of text is good enough. And one more thing is that if you have some Excel file data kind of things, you can also share those data with ChatGPT, and then it can create some visualization as well. And these visualization you can copy paste on your slide. And interestingly, the team also knows that you have done it using AI, so you can't make people surprised that you have done a lot of tasks. But of course, the point that is revealed in these slides are useful. So this is another example of a prompt, like write a report, write a professional weekly project report, with highlighting the completed tasks, current backlogs, and the priority for the next week. So these are some simple prompt that can give you better result in terms of optimizing your project management process. So one very significant point that I must share as a tutorial of ChatGPT, that when you are sharing any information with ChatGPT for a answer, do not share any kind of secret information like password, your confidential information about the company, any financial data that are real financial data of your company. So because these are or HR related information that are sensitive, because always your private data must be secured and it should not be shared with LLM. You can change some of the real information or real data when you are asking for any solution, and then change it in the email, because it is not good practice to share the real data of a company or a person with AI. So the last conclusion is that use AI and with a strong confidence based on your skill set. If you are a teacher or a project manager or a developer, based on your own expertise, use the ChatGPT to prepare your answer. When you are getting an answer, verify it using your own knowledge. Don't just make it a replacement of your presence in the company or in the team. So it is good to get some idea from AI in case of decision making, in case of communication, in case of report analysis and strategic thinking, but it is not something that you can rely 100% at every step or every walk of life. Otherwise, it has some consequences. These are very, very expensive. So this is my conclusion. I hope from this tutorial you have learned something important, and see you guys in the next episode. Till then, take care.